Which side goes up on the stones? Is it the punch side or the flat side? Leave a comment down below so I can tell you how wrong you're. I'm just kidding. Welcome back everybody. Tia here, and in today's video I will be doing a solo playthrough of Unearth and the Lost Tribe expansion. During the playthrough I'll give a brief tutorial, and be sure you stick around for the end of the video where I give a review about my thoughts of the game and the solo play in general. If you do enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe and like the video down below. It's free and it really helps out the channel, but without further ado, let's get started. So here is a solo game of Unearth set up and ready to play. Over the course of the game, you're going to be sending out your tribe of delvers to excavate ruins and collect stones, which will help you build monuments. So I'm going to start by going over the two-player setup and the basic rules of the game. However, if you're already familiar with the base game, you can skip ahead to the timestamp down below labeled changes for solo play. So the first thing you're going to do is shuffle up your rune deck. You're going to deal one rune face down to each player. And then you're going to set out in a two-player game 4 runes face up. The number in the top left corner will determine when a rune is claimed. The number in the bottom right corner indicates how many stones you're going to draw randomly from the bag and place onto that ruin. Then you're going to go ahead and set out your monuments. You'll always play with lesser and greater wonders, putting up the stacks of tokens on top with the number side facing down. Then you're also going to pull, in a two-player game, 2 plus the number of players, so 4 cards from the monument deck and place their matching pogs on top. Each player will also receive Delver cards. So you're going to shuffle the Delver deck and give 2 to each player. You can also give them a player aid as well as 1 set of dice. So the game round will be broken up into 2 phases, the Delver phase and the excavation phase. During the Delver phase, you're going to play any of the cards shown and do what they say. You can play as many or as few as you would like, and they will allow you to manipulate dice. After each die manipulation, you'll check to see if the top left corner has been met or exceeded by the sum of the die faces on that particular rune's card. Then you'll move on to the excavation phase. You're going to take a die from your pool and declare which of the ruins you want to place it on. And it's important to declare which one it will go on before rolling, because you don't get to know the value beforehand unless you have a specific Delver card that allows you to do so. If you have no dice in your pool, then you'll simply choose a die that's already on a ruin, choose a ruin to place it on, and then do the same. When you roll your dice, you're going to go ahead and see if it is a 3, 2, or 1. If it is, it will allow you to claim a stone off of that card. If there are no stones left on that card, then you'll instead get a random one out of the bag. These stones, once we build them into a ring of 6, will allow you to claim these wonders. So each wonder has a qualification at the bottom. If it's question mark, it can be any. If it's colored stone, it has to be that colored stone. If there are solid cubes placed in pairs or all 6, that means cubes of the same color. So the black Cinnapath, for example, could be a pair of red, a pair of blue, and a pair of yellow. It could be 2 pairs of red and then a pair of blue, however you want to do it. The next thing you'll do is, again, check to see if any of the runes have been resolved. So let's do a quick example of what that might look like. Let's say that I have a 6, a 5, and then a 5 from our opponent. Since this value of 16 meets or exceeds 13, which is the number we would need to get to in order to claim the rune card is going to go to the player who has the highest value die face, in this case, my blue 6. The other player will normally get a Delver card per die that they have on that ruin. Now let's say it's a tie. So if we have a 5 and a 5 and a 3, in this case, because the highest values are both 5s, it'll go to the die that has the most die faces, in this case my D8. And in case that is also a tie, then here we have 2 D6s that both display 5s. It'll go to the player who has the next highest die, which is my D8. So those are the basic rules for a multiplayer 2-player game, very similar to our solo game. And here are the changes for solo play and some of the extras that are added on in the expansion for the Lost Tribe. The first thing you'll notice is that we have this beautiful darkness board and darkness deck. This is how our AI player will utilize stones. However, they will collect ruins very similarly and score them at the end of the game based on the sets that they obtain. Instead of having 5 dice, they'll have 4 D6s. Anytime a rune is revealed, the darkness is going to roll a die and place it out. Again, if they roll a 3, 2, or 1, they're going to be able to take a stone. You as the player get to choose which one if there are multiple options available. So I'm going to give them the blue from this one. Oh no. We'll go ahead and take the black stone from here. And we have a 4, so that's good. And a 6. All right. So unlike you, the player, the darkness will not roll a die every turn. They will simply roll one anytime a new rune is revealed. Instead of playing Delver cards and rolling dice on their turn, what the darkness will do is they will reveal the top card of the darkness deck. Each of the cards in this deck represents a different type of monument that can be shown. If there are ever 3 of a kind showing, you're going to check the icon in the bottom left, and whether it points to the left or rightmost, you're going to take that rune and put it in the darkness's score pile. You will get 1 Delver card per die you have on that rune, and a bonus of 1 Delver card regardless. If there are no cards of that type available, like if there are 3 deserts, then the darkness will simply gain a crystal and that card will go to the bottom. In the case that there is one showing, then all 3 cards that are used to trigger that will go to the bottom. In the event that you have 1 of each type of monument showing, but there aren't 3 of a kind, then instead you'll look at this bottom right icon. It will show you which of the 4 cards will be claimed by the darkness instead. The darkness, like I said, will score runes just like a player would, but instead of scoring points for our wonders, they are instead going to score points based on the number of completely forged crystals and how much corruption is accumulated. 2 other quick changes for the expansion. You'll notice that we have these blue response cards which have a 4 in the corner. These can be played reactively anytime a 4 is rolled. In addition, you can see that we have some colorless stones which will act as a wild but give you -1 point. The memory stone, which will allow you to draw 2 Delver cards when you take it, however, it doesn't count as a color. And there's also warp stone, which will let you swap any 2 stones when you use it, but again, doesn't count as a color. One last change for our solo game. Anytime a rune is claimed, typically the stones will go back into the bag. However, in the solo game, if there are any stones remaining on a rune, whether it's 1 or multiple, the player will first choose 1 of those stones to place onto the darkness board before returning the rest back into the pouch. Now we're ready to get started. So we're going to kick off turn 1 with the human player, aka me, us, and let's see how we go. So we do have a Delver card we could play, which is to give the next die roll this turn a plus or minus 1. Now this is interesting because plus or minus 1 means that it can only be the die face showing. So for example, you can't turn a d6 into a 7 because it doesn't have that die face. So that could actually backfire because if we roll a 6, we would have to make it a 5 because we have to do plus or minus 1. And our 4 card we cannot play unless a 4 is rolled. So let's go ahead and see. I think what we want to do is try to get this stone off of here so that we can claim that card. You notice that our starting card is also a blue rune, an island rune, so it might be good to go for that 17 in a bit. But let's roll this d4 and put it on our green 13. All right, and it is a 1, so we're going to go ahead and claim this stone, which will start our first ring over here. Place the stones this way. Okay. For the darkness's turn, they're going to flip and reveal the darkness card. It is a desert. So if 3 deserts are revealed or 1 of each of the other 4 cards, that's when they'll claim a rune. Going back to our turn, let's go ahead and roll our d8 onto this green rune. Okay, we got a 1. So since there are no stones on there, we're going to take 1 randomly from the bag. And it is a red. We'll just add it on to our first ring here. Like so. Okay. And the darkness is going to flip another card, which is a cavern. So we have a desert and a cavern so far. Next, let's roll a d6. I'm hesitant to go onto this green 13, so maybe let's try this 17 instead. We have a 1. Okay, so now we have a choice. I think I am going to take this memory stone because it will allow us to draw 2 more Delver cards, which will give us a lot more options. So we have another reaction card. And then we may choose to place our excavation, where we place our die after we roll. Okay. And the darkness turn, we have a mountain. Let's do another d6 on here. We have a 6, so we don't get a stone. Our next card is an island. Okay, so far we almost have 1 of each kind. So they might be claiming a rune very, very soon. Let's go ahead and put our d6 here. And hopefully if it is a 6, then we would go ahead and claim that. Otherwise, we're out of dice and we would have to do some re-rolls. So, let's see. We can play Expedition instead and choose where to place it after we roll, but I think that'll come in handy later. So I'm gonna roll this D6 onto the island card, and it is a 3. So let's go ahead and take this blue. Now we have an option here of continuing on this first ring of 6, or we can start to build onto a new ring, which I think I will do because it would be really nice to get this Eternal Flame. Actually, it would also get us closer to Fountain of Reflection. But if we leave these, yeah, let's go ahead and just add it onto this first ring of 6. Okay, and the next card is a forest. So we have one of each. So we're going to look at the bottom right icon, which means that this rightmost card will be claimed, and all of the cards that are used to trigger that will be shuffled back into the deck. We'll go ahead and shuffle this up. And since there are stones remaining on this card, we're going to choose one to place out here. We already have one blue, so I think we'll put out a yellow. And this will go back in the bag. Since we didn't have any dice on this card, then we are simply going to get 1, which is the standard for our doubler cards. Reroll a die already on a rune. Ooh, that could be really good. And we'll place out our next rune to replace it. Gets 2 stones, is indicated in the bottom right corner. And ooh, that's that warp stone that I was talking about earlier. So maybe we'll see how that works. And we're gonna go ahead and roll the darkness die. It is a 3. I guess we're gonna put this black crystal here. Okay, and then it is back to our turn. So I think what we want to do is we really want to bump up this so we can get our dice back. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this Delver card, Lost in the Ruins, which will allow us to re-roll this D8. It's a 3. Oh no, that's not very good. All right, so we have a red. I suppose we'll keep placing them out here because, I mean, we could get 2 more yellow, and that would allow us to get extra Delver cards if we don't have our dice spread out very evenly, which I think is pretty good. So I'm going to put it here instead of continuing with that ring. And you can see the rings will kind of build off one another into a larger grid, leaving a space in the middle for that actual wonder to go into. Okay, so now we have to choose one of the dice that's already out. Here we're at 14 out of 17. Here we're at only 5 out of 13. I'm going to take the D8 and try to roll it on this particular card, although they will get a red if we claim it, but I think we have to claim it quickly because we're almost out of dice. Okay, it is a 5, so we are at a total of 10, 15, 18, 19. So this stone is going to go to the darkness board. Yikes. We're going to get our dice back, and the AI player is going to get their die back. We're going to flip a card. All right, and it gets 3 stones placed out on it, a forest card, and ooh, a lot of blue. We're gonna roll the darkness die, a 2. Oh my gosh, they're getting so many stones this game. Ooh, all right, it'll be interesting to see if we can get a winning score, but it's not looking too good for us right now. And flipping over our card, it is a forest card. All right, back to our turn. I think we have to go ham on this green 13. So let's roll our D8. A 2, we get another stone. So maybe we'll get a lot of wonders, even if we don't get a lot of actual runes cards. Flipping our next card, we have the cavern. Okay, let's do a D6 on the green 13. It's a 5, so we are at 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oh my goodness. We're having no luck with high die rolls. Another forest card, and let's do that one more time. We have a 6. Yay! So it is finally going to be claimed. Again, we have the high die, obviously, so we're going to get our dice back. There are no stones, so the darkness will not get any stones from this particular card. That'll go here. Okay, and for scoring, we are trying to get cards of the same type, which will get us, if we have like 5 of this, or if we have 5 of the same, it'll get us 30 points. However, if we have 1 of each, it'll be a bonus 5 points for the set. So you really have to kind of balance which cards you're getting, but also we don't want to give our AI opponent sets of cards in that manner either. A little tricky to balance. 6. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so we could just try to claim this 9 and give them a stone. We could try to claim this 9 over here and give them a stone. We could go for one of the higher point cards. I think I want to roll, if we roll a d4 here, we'll definitely get this stone, which could be really good. I think we're going to do that. Okay, it's a 3, so we'll take this warp stone. So the way the warp stone works is that at some point throughout the game, we can swap any 2 stones and we'll flip it over to its used side. So it doesn't count as a color, but it's also not necessarily a negative point like the phantom stone is, which is any color you want. Okay, and we'll flip a new card. It is an island, so we're safe for now. Let's go ahead and see if we can lock down this card. We need a 3 or higher, so we'll use a d8. A 3, hey, so we get a stone and we get the card. Since we're tied with 3s, the largest card will get it. And I'm gonna put this blue, we'll just put it down here. I think we'll be taking probably like a lesser wonder for that one, or maybe the Fountain of Reflection instead. Okay, and flipping our card. Oh, wait, sorry, we have to resolve this first. So we'll put this into our score pile and get our dice back. No stones to worry about. Rolling the die. Oh, forgot to put 3 out. They rolled a 1, so they get a black, or a black. Okay, so this is their first fully forged crystal using 3 stones. So they will be getting 6 points for sure, but it will get higher as they get more crystals forged. And then it's back to us. I really want yellow stones so that I can hopefully get this, because they're probably going to start claiming wonders. So I'm going to roll a d4 on this 9 card and see if we can get it. Ooh, it's a 4. Okay, so we do not get it unless we play one of these. So we can take a stone from the rune where the 4 was rolled. We'll take this yellow stone here. And we can also, if we want to, give any other die a plus or minus 2. So if we give this die a -2, it'll give us a better chance of winning that rune, but it'll also postpone that rune being claimed by the darkness since we had 10 out of 9. All right, next card, we have a desert. Okay. So I think we want to roll a d6 here and try to get a low, but if we get a lower value, then it will be too low. So I think we're going to place our, we'll roll a d8 and choose where to place it after we roll using this Delver card. Okay, a 2. Okay, so we don't want to take that one, but then they're going to get a stone. What color stone would we like? I guess we can go here and get another memory stone to get more cards since we're running low on those. Okay, we're going to draw up our 2 cards. And now, since we have completed one of our rings, we're going to get to choose a wonder. So this particular configuration doesn't match any of the specific named wonders, but it does match the lesser wonder. So these will be a random value between 2 and 4. And we got a 4 points, not bad. So we'll place that in the center here. Okay. And now it is the darkness's turn to go. The mountain. Ooh, okay. I have to say, I really like this darker aesthetic, but when I think of the darkness, I think of the band The Darkness. Y'all familiar with that? He sings so high. I just remember that song was super popular and we were all screaming at the top of our lungs. So that kind of comes into my mind every time I think about The Darkness. All right, back to our turn. Let's see. Let's choose where to put it after we roll again. So let's roll a d6 onto this one. A 6. All right, we'll go ahead and leave it there instead of choosing a different card. So this will resolve this stone. Since the black crystal has already been forged, we're going to place it down on the corruption track, which currently is 0 points. That's good. And then we're going to go ahead and take this card for a score pile. Flipping over the next ruin, placing out our stones. This one is really nice, just kind of relaxing game. The turns are very quick, since the AI just kind of flips a card and resolves things. So there's not a lot of downtime or a lot of automation that you have to worry about, which is really nice. Okay. Forest Cavern. I just realized that for this mountain card, we should have gotten rid of this ruin when this came out. So what we're gonna do is shuffle these back in before we do that and take care of that. So they will get a crystal. We'll do this one. We'll do the colorless crystal down here instead. That was my fault. XCOM that real quick. And we'll put out a new rune. That may or may not have changed what we did slightly, but I think we would have probably done the same thing. Roll their die. Okay, 4. All right, and these would have been shuffled back in. We're going to go ahead and shuffle those up really quickly and draw a new card. One of these days, we'll get it down flawless. It's so difficult to go through, especially when you're going quick and recording. All right. I think we caught it. Fingers crossed that that will be the only little boo-boo that we have. Okay, so Cavern for their turn. Now it's our turn again. So let's see, what would we like to do? Probably get that last stone. Getting that last stone would be nice. It could also count as our last yellow here, even though it's -1 point. So let's roll our D4 onto this 17. It's a 3, perfect. So this counts as a yellow. We'll count it as a yellow. And let's grab the Eternal Flame. So this will be worth 1 point, which cancels out that negative we took. And when a rune that you have no dice on is claimed, you may draw a Delver card. So we'll be getting 2 instead of just the 1 as per the solo game. And it is worth 1 point. Normally you would put that wonder in front of the player, but since it's just us, we know who got it. The token also helps you to remember. Next card is a mountain card. All right, and we are going to now take our dice stack. Oh, and actually, nope, we're still good. We have 3, 3, and 2. We're not even close. So let's see if we can. Should we work on that card? I'm not sure. As of right now, the tiebreak would go to the solo player because the D6 is larger than the D4. So I think we want to roll another die and place it on there. And hopefully this will auto trigger for it to get claimed so that we don't have to place more dice on it after. But we do want to make sure we have the highest die. Okay, we have a 3. Oh no. So we're tied and it would go to us. And we do get a stone for that. Hey, it's a memory stone. So I think... this is pretty much set up so that we could get the Black Encinopath or a Fountain of Reflection, or even the Black Gate. So I think we want this one to start a new ring, maybe off to the side here. Let's draw our 2 Delver cards. Okay, +2 to a die already on rune. We can do a reroll, so that seems pretty good. Okay. And the desert card is revealed. Oh my goodness, we're not getting a lot of 3 of a kinds in this game, which I don't know if that's pretty rare, but I feel like that usually triggers before the 1 of each. Okay, and for our turn, let's see. Our total here is at 9, 10, 11, so we're not even close there. I think what we want to do is go ahead and try to roll for this card because those yellow or a black would go really nicely here for getting the Black Encinopath, which gives us a bonus rune that was previously discarded. Or the Black Gate gets us 4 extra stones from the bag. However, it is worth -2 points, but that could help us get more wonders because we do get a bonus if we have 3 or more wonders, we get 5 points. But I think we're well on our way to that anyway. So let's go ahead and roll onto this orange card. 3. Okay, so we do get a stone. We'll add it up here, start working towards that. And flipping our card, we have another cavern. Okay, let's go ahead and, oh no, we're not even near any of these. Let's roll this and try to place it onto well, it's likely that we might get a cavern or what is it, an island that we're missing. So maybe spreading our dice is pretty good idea. Let's go ahead and roll our die and place it onto this 15 card. 5. Okay, so we're at 10. And then island. Okay, so 1 of each has been shown. Since the island shows the rightmost card, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of those 5 cards that triggered it, leaving this extra cavern out. Shuffle this up. Since there is a black stone left on that card, it's gonna go into the darkness board onto the corruption track. Oh my goodness, that's 3 points for them. Not ideal, but we do get our die back and we will get 2 Delver cards to help us out. Okay. And we only have a couple runes left, so we'll see how that works. Oh, 3. So they're going to get one of the 2 stones, black and a blue. We give them a blue. The black will be -6 points, but the blue will be an additional -6 as opposed to additional -3. So I think we'll actually give them one of these black stones. Oof, that's kind of tricky. All right, and it is back to our turn. So what do we want to do? We have so many different cards available, but unfortunately we're not super close. Why don't we do this? Let's use Ancient Map, saying that we can re-roll our excavation roll if we want to, and reading the stones to give our die a plus or -1. My idea is that if we get a 5 or a 6 on this die, so actually a 4, 5, or 6, within 2 rolls, we'll be able to claim this ruin. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a 6. We didn't even need to use them. Okay, great. So let's give the AI opponents, or the darkness, sorry, a yellow stone. Yellowstone, like the park. These will go back in. We will get this card. Again, since they were, well, we had the highest, so that's fine. Place out a new ruin. Put 2 stones out, and our darkness die is a 3. Oh my gosh, why can't it just be a 4? Come on. Okay. Alrighty, and there's only 1 rune card left, so once the final rune card has been claimed, then we'll total up our points, we'll total up the darkness's points, and whoever has the most points wins. Flipping our card, we have an island. Okay. And let's see, should we just go ham on this one? I'm waiting for it to get claimed, but it's seeming like it's not going to happen. We're also fairly close on this 11 card. I think we can make that work. So let's go ahead and roll a d6 onto the 11. We also have the opportunity to get quite a few of these, whatchamacallit, quite a few of these island cards. We have another memory stone. Great. We'll take 2 more Delver cards for sure. Okay. Island. Hey, if it's a bunch of islands, it might claim it for us. That would be great. Let's do that again. A 4. Ooh, okay. So we can reroll any other die already on a ruin. So I think what we'll do is reroll this one. 8. Oh, we're at 11. So I'm going to reroll my d8 here, and hopefully that'll get it closer to the total. 7. That looks much better. So here we have 10, 16. We're just 1 off. Here we have 11 exactly. And we win the tiebreak with the second die. So this will go onto the board. Oh no, they forged their second full crystal. Ah! But we do get points, so that's good. And we're coming down to nearly the end of it here. Might be a pretty tight game, since we do have a lot of rune cards. Even though they have a lot of points, we also have a lot of points. So we'll see what happens. Okay, roll our darkness die. Woo! It's a dexterity game, guys. A 4. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So now the question is, do we want to go for one of these desert cards so that we can get a bonus 5 points? Or do we want to go for that other island card so that we could have 4 in a set, which is 20 points? What do we want it to do? I think 20 points as opposed, so 8 points for the upgrade versus 7 points for the bonus. Maybe we can get both. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We also have this card, choose a number, reroll all dice showing that number. This is an interesting rule as well, because anytime you roll a die, if it's a 3 or lower and gets placed on a card, then you get stones. However, if it is plus or minus, just adjusted, you don't get stones. So what I'm thinking is we could reroll 3s, but the darkness has a lot of 3s. So maybe we'll hold on to that. The next d6 roll this turn gets +2. Give +2 to any die already on a ruin. I don't know. Maybe we just want to roll this and get it back since it has no stones on it. I think that's what we want to do. So, I don't know. That's kind of tricky. What are we at again? 10, 16. Oh, we can give +2 to a die on a ruin. So we'll bump this 3 up to a 5, which means that we are able to claim this card, like so. And there are no ruins left, so the darkness die will just live here from now on. And then we're going to move on to our actual excavation phase, where we're going to choose a die and where to put it We were looking for that other yellow, so let's roll our D4 there. It's a 4. No! That's frustrating. Okay. Island. Ooh! So since it is 3 of a kind, the leftmost island is going to get resolved. So this will go here, forging the 3rd crystal, which is 20 points. They will claim this ruin. And in addition to that, we are going to get 2 cards, 1 for the solo play rules, and then 1 because we had no dice on it for our Eternal Flame card. Okay, so we're really boiling down to it. These island cards will get shuffled back in as well. Can't forget that. This allows us to roll 2 dice during the excavation phase. That's really good. And then we can reroll any other die already on a ruin based on what we get. So I think what we want to do is definitely go for that 11 and the 13 maybe? I don't know. Do we want to do the D8 here and a D6 here? I think we do. I don't want to reroll 4s because then the darkness could get another stone here. Let's do that. We're going to roll 2, but we do have to declare which ones are going to go on to first. So let's do the D6 here first. 5. Ooh, that puts us over, but we don't get the yellow stone, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Yikes. Okay, we'll resolve that in a second. And then the D8 here, we have an 8, so we're at 11, so we're close. So this will get resolved. I'm going to give them the red because that's 4 points as opposed to 10 for the completing the yellow stone. Okay. And this goes to our score pile. 80 points. We got our set of 5. And then we have that last. So they're going to flip their card. And then we are going to go ahead and try to lock this in, but I want to get a low number if possible. So, because I don't want them to get that last blue stone, that'll be worth 5 points for them. So ideally, they don't get it at all. So let's re-roll all dice showing the number 8. Bam, it's a 5 now. Okay, we're gonna roll our D4 on there. 2, we get this last stone. I suppose we'll just put it here and, well, Fountain of Reflection gets us 2 points for each stone of the type we have the least of. So in this case, we do have 3 blue, 2, 2, 2. So we get 4 points for sure, which is going to be more than a potential lesser wonder, which could be anywhere between 2 and 4 points. So we'll place this here and make sure that it's oriented the right way. Even though they have the sides, you know, there's a clear way that's supposed to be up. You guys feel me? Yes? No? Also, this shenanigans where which side it goes up on the stones. Is it the punch side or the flat side? Leave a comment down below so I can rejoice in how correct you are or tell you how wrong you are. I'm just kidding. So we'll go ahead and take Fountain of Reflection. It'll be worth, for us, it's looking like it'll be 4 points. Okay, and then we're at 10 there. Flip a card. Desert. We're gonna roll our D6 because we don't have anything else. We might as well give it a +2. See what we get. Okay, we got a 2. +2 is a 4. And is that everything we need? So we have 7 + 7, which is 14. So yes, we are going to claim this last ruin. There are no stones, which will go to the darkness. Oh, we were so close to getting 1 more wonder, but we did get 3, which will give us a bonus. So now we're going to move on to scoring. The first thing we're going to look at are our ruins. So we do have a set of 3 here, which is going to be worth 12 points. We have another set of 3, which is worth 12, so we're at 24. Then we have a set of 2, which is worth 6, so we're at 30. Then each of these is worth 2, so we are at 34. We get a bonus of 5 points for having 1 complete set of all 5 cards, so we are at 39. Then we get our points for our wonders. These cancel out, so we're at 39, 43, plus 2 points for each we have the least of, which we'll say reds, yellows, or blacks. Those are all tied. So we have, for each stone we have the least of. Oh, so it's not necessarily the color, it's the type of stone, I believe. So we only have 1 of these disco stones. So that's actually only 2 points instead. We should have taken the lesser wonder, but that's okay. So we are at a total of, again, Let me just grab a calculator because I'm really bad at math. So we have 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 for our bonus. And then we have 1 minus 1 plus 4 plus 2. And then we have 3 or more wonders, so we get a bonus 5 points. So we are at 68 points, I believe. Now to score the darkness board, they have 3 completely forged crystals, which is going to be worth 20 points. And then they have the corruption track up to 10. So they are at 30 points. And then for their sets, let's see what it is. Oh my gosh, no, it's the other kind. So they get 2 for each of these cards, which is me 10, plus a bonus of 5 points, which is 45. Ooh, so we did pretty well. So the total was 45 to 68 points. And that means that we were victorious. So there you have it. That is a solo playthrough of Unearth. I'll start by saying that as a multiplayer game, I really love the base game of Unearth. I just think it's one of those kind of standard games that is unique enough but understandable enough that you can play it with a wide range of people. It doesn't outstay its welcome. The mechanics are really interesting. They're kind of area control, but there's a lot of mitigation for, like, if you get low rolls, you get stones and things like that. So in my opinion, it's a great overall and fantastic game. And I think that the Lost Tribe expansion just added so many things that I love. I mean, first of all, you can play with up to 5 players or as few as 1 players now. So having that variability really helps out the replayability of the game and its versatility. I love the new stones. I think they add just enough flavor to the wonders, and of course you do get more wonders as well, which is really exciting. Additionally, the response cards are so brilliant. I can't tell you the number of times that I was playing just the regular Unearth and someone would roll a 4 and it just feels bad because you don't get a stone, but you're probably not going to get the rune either. So having those response cards really spices up the game a little bit. It's a quick interruption into a player's turn, but it's nothing that can't be sorted out in terms of just playing the cards in player order. So I think that was a really smart addition that really balances out the game and flushes it out to its full potential. Now, as far as the solo play goes, I think it does a great job of capturing that tension between players in a multiplayer game. I like the idea that you're not just going for a single rune. You want to spread out your dice so that you get more Delver cards, so that you can get stones. I also like the fact that it is not too easy, although I did pretty well in this solo playthrough, bearing that I didn't make any mistakes. I think that it's really interesting that you have to get all the stones off of a ruin or forfeit and just come to the realization that the darkness is going to be claiming a lot of stones that playthrough if you're getting a lot of runes quickly. So there's a really nice balance between, do I want runes for myself quickly, or do I want to kind of mitigate the number of points that my opponent is getting by slowing out my turns, kind of spreading out and pacing things that way. Quick interjection to you from the future. I also forgot to mention, in terms of versatility for solo gamers, there is also different varying levels of difficulty where you can forge crystals using only 2 or even just 1 stone, and there is a campaign mode, which is really, really exciting. The turns are very quick, as I said during the playthrough. There's not a lot of extra things that you need to learn. The iconography is super intuitive, and this is a solo game that, again, doesn't outstay its welcome, but I feel very satisfied playing it and afterward thinking like, yes, my choices mattered, I made good choices, or, you know, even though it's rolling dice and flipping a deck of cards, it doesn't feel super luck-based because there's a lot of things that play into how you can manipulate your own dice using the cards, how you have it built into the die rolls that you get in terms of getting stones, going for wonders, going for ruins. Like, there's just so many little juicy options here, and it's not at all, in my opinion, overwhelming to teach or to play. So this is one that I would absolutely recommend whether you are planning on playing it with multiple people or just by yourself. I think it's a great package, and Unearth and The Lost Tribe are both relatively affordable for the, you know, the MSRP price of both of these is the price tag on some larger games of just the base game. So I think this is a great addition to anyone's collection. It's just a wonderful go-to game to have on your shelf when you're wanting something that is a little bit of a medium length and a medium weight that is really accessible for solo players or for multiple people. So that's all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed this video and haven't already, please give it a like down below, and you can also subscribe for more awesome board game content. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye! Including the Lost Tribe expansion. What is that noise? Oh my gosh, stop.